is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on the 23 WRX. As you guys may remember from a prior video, we attempted to put this Perrin front mount intercooler on the car. We are going to get it on today. I've got it sitting around. I want to get it on. It's taking up space in the shop, and front mounts just look snazzy. So we're gonna be doing some e-tuning with Josh over the next couple of days, getting the 23 WRX dialed in a little bit more. So I'm big hyped on it. Front mounts look good too. They clear up a lot of space in the engine bay. In my opinion, they're just off. I like front mounts. I'm a front mount type of dude. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do with our 23 WRX here is go ahead and get off the front bumper, remove the top mount intercooler, remove the charge pipe, get this snorkel out of the way, remove one of the radiator fans, and that should give us enough room to work in here to be able to get everything where it needs to go. So let's just start off. Let's get this bumper off of here. Put this thing to the side. There we go. Map sensor wiring. Right. Currently, we've got the top mount intercooler out of the way, the charge pipe and the intake out of the way. I wanted to get all that just kind of out before we get started here. Now I'm just gonna go through Perrin's step-by-step instructions to do this intercooler, because last time I did not and it became kind of a headache. First up, it looks like we're gonna be removing this rubber diverter. There looks to be just two pop clips up here. I'm just gonna push out the pop clips. I've taken this off a couple times now, so mine comes off pretty easy. Like that, and then there's like these just little slip pieces over on the sides, which my blue clip decided to evacuate, so. But rubber diverter is out. Pull off the 4 bolts for the throttle body, because we are going to use the one from Perrin on here, which is an adapter for the intercooler. Now you gotta swap over the O-ring from the intercooler for this guy, and then it's just going to sit up here on top of the throttle body. 4 longer screws from Perrin. I like to at least get like 3 of them started before fully tightening, just to locate the throttle body. There's our throttle body adapter. I think that just steps down the throttle body to the coupler size, so that way you're not using a reducer coupler, you're actually using this guy. So throttle body adapter, good to go. Remove the 8 bolts securing the bumper beam. All right, crash bar is coming off. There it comes. Didn't want to let go. Looking at the instructions here, it shows. Is it like that? It's got to be like that. That's the easy one. I got it. Okay. Woo! Yeah, start with that top innermost one up here, because dude, that one, not a fun time. Oh my goodness. This guy is going to get a sleeve here to bolt through it, and then dope. So we've got our front mount mounted up to the car. It looks pretty good. There's a dog right there. Hello, Yogi. So we got our front mount on. Now we need to start making room for the piping. So we got to do some modifications over here to all that stuff, and same with the other side. It's very similar to a VA. This crossbar piece comes out, so we're gonna have to get this piece out. Once we get this out, we can actually go ahead and just hook up that piece of the charge pipe up to the turbo. So let's go ahead and get this guy out. Then we need to find a home for our sensor, which maybe we'll do that first. Oh no, we'll get this guy out. There's a couple 14 mils that hold it in. We'll get it out, we'll get the piping in, kind of go from there. I'm just trying to reduce all the pipes that we got up there on the table. Are you guys here to help? Are you my handy helper? Are you my handy helper? Are you my handy helper? What are you guys doing? You guys are freaks. Freaks! Mainly because the washer reservoir is right in our way. But that's okay, because we are here to get around it. So I need to move the horn to a different location, which I think it's gonna go on one of these studs down here, because this is the ground for it, so it still needs to be grounded. On top of that, the washer reservoir here, the filler neck needs to come out, which from what I remember last time, this was actually quite annoying to get this thing out. But came out pretty decent that time. Perrin gives us this new little filler neck that goes right in its place. Actually, I should probably put the cap on this first, but you know, it's actually not that bad. You can still see it fairly easily from up top, and you can still get a funnel down into it to be able to fill it. So I don't mind having that sat down like that. Plus it hides another one of the caps in the engine bay, so it's a win for me. So now we need to kind of scoot over this reservoir. There's a couple 10s that we can go ahead and loosen just to give us a little bit more room. It's not a ton more room, but it's enough to, you know, make a little bit of a difference. We'll go ahead and hit that 12 to get the horn undone. So we'll just kind of let the horn dingle dangle for a sec. Come back here and try to snake back there to get these 14s. That somehow got it. Sick. The horn, I'm pretty sure they have us move that down a little bit. And I can undo these ones also. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I see a plan of action for how I can do this. So right here, we'll do the 2 3/4 coupler with the 45-degree bend. Push that on there. I'm gonna leave these clamps a little bit loose for now until we get this exactly where we want it. I wanna say it's this guy here. That looks about right there. We got enough meat in the pipe here. The hose clamp can slide over it. That's actually not too bad. So this guy, this is gonna go on the throttle body. So that guy's gonna go on like that. And then this guy, we got that one in. We just gotta tighten down all the clamps. So we got cold side all tightened down. There's a 45 that comes off to the smaller 2 1/4 or 2 3/4 inch pipe that comes up right through there, then comes up, goes to the throttle body. It clears the battery like perfect. Kudos, Perrin, that's like perfect fitment right there. Next up, we got the hot side, which is gonna go from here, go underneath there, and then come up to the turbo there. But before we do that, we have a heat shield that we're gonna have to put in here because we are putting an intake in this thing, and I might wait to put that pipe in until we do the intake real quick. Actually, you know what? We will do that first. So let's get the heat shield in, we'll do the intake, and then we'll do the hot side pipe. Remove M6 bolt. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay. Right there. Really so much more. They give you a spacer and another bolt. So the spacer is going to go in between the heat shield here and the old M6 one went and thread in. So, headlight hole. Which hole? Where is this hole? Mount lower portion of Perrin intake to chassis using M6 bolt, M6 by 40. Oh no, it doesn't thread in. There's a nut. There's a nut that's gotta go on the other side of it. There's the harness, so it's here. This hole? You want me to go to that big ass hole right there? I'm gonna go spacer and bracket, and then washer, and then nut. So, right here we've got our Perrin air filter. I feel like I should be wearing gloves. It's like greasy and chapstick. Why does this smell like freaking chapstick, man? Is this a joke? Did somebody at Perrin play a joke on me and chapstick up this intake tube. Dude, it's like, it's so covered in fucking chapstick that the clamp just slides off. I got the filter on. I guess you just don't tighten it that much. Whoever works at Perrin and puts all the chapstick on these, you could probably let up a little bit. Yeah, I think you're putting a little too much on there because, dude, it is absolutely everywhere. What this is for? But they say put it on right here. I just don't know why. Like, what is the point of this? This doesn't do anything. Now that we've got the intake in, the air box in, or the heat shield as you can call it, we can go ahead and get the last of the intercooler piping on. So we need to get the turbo locky guy down onto the turbo down there, get a hose clamp on this, get a hose clamp on that, get the pipe that comes up and around to the intercooler, and then we're good. So I need to pull off the old hose, or the old O-ring that used to go inside the stock one, get this guy clipped on there, and we can start running some intercooler piping. Off of the turbo. Just like that. I think it's like that, maybe. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's the other way. This goes on somehow, just not sure how yet. Maybe like that. I don't know. I should probably just read the instructions. So I'm trying to get the last pipe in for the intercooler, and I'm running into an issue with the air box here where this cutout isn't deep enough. This cutout's originally for the air snorkel, but okay, I would like to run the air box. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is cut this hole down deeper right here. So I just went through and I cut a big piece off, so now we should be able to fit. So this should go in no problemo. Now, look at this. Perrin, you have to figure out a better way for this. This pipe needs to be bead rolled for the intake. Otherwise, this thing just slides off. And don't take this as me like pooping on Perrin. I love Perrin. But take it as constructive criticism, if you will. It's so over greased and you cannot get the grease off that the filter doesn't even want to stay on the piping, which is a little bit annoying. Everything down here wise fits up pretty well. I will say that if you do need to take out this front radiator fan, you have to take this pipe out first. Once that fan is in, you cannot get that charge pipe back out. Let's go ahead and throw the bumper back on this guy. Actually, let me do a little bit of cleanup because I got stuff scattered everywhere. And a sleeping lady back there. Let me get a little bit of stuff picked up. We'll get the bumper on this thing, let it idle for about 10 minutes, and then go get some driving footage of it.
Easy, except the crappy. This is weird.
You're in my video. You're in my video now.
Does I take my clothes off now?
Look, I'll even put your YouTube thing right there so that way people can go subscribe to you.
They will. They definitely will. That's what kept. Nothing says go do this, then a YouTube thing down below that says subscribe to this guy.
Waste does FA24 stuff also.
I don't even get to see, like, people in my channel haven't even seen the inside of my house yet.
Really? Now they have. It's left at this point. Put the bumper on, turn it on, let it idle, get a data log of the idle for about 10 minutes, go drive it, get a cruising data log and maybe a 1, 2, 3 short little pull data log, and then we're just off to tuning with this thing, and then we can do some more fun FA24 stuff. But I will say that did open up a lot of room in that engine bay. We need to grab a couple data logs. I will say after driving this a little bit, that intake is very whooshy. Overboost. This is the most terrifying code. I'll show you guys this. Let me get off the freeway real quick. Yeah. P0606 internal control module processor. If you see that, it's either a death code or it means you exceeded a threshold. In our case, we exceeded a threshold, so I believe I just gotta go turn the car off and turn it back on, but it's not a fun code to have. That means no full throttle pulls right now. I guess I'll try to get some intake noises, but that, when you go full throttle and it creeps up and boosts real quick, it's like, nah, ain't happening. So if you get that code, don't immediately freak out. The first time I got that code, I freaked out. That just means that you've exceeded a threshold. And when you exceed the threshold, for some reason, it's not like a boost exceeded or something along those lines. It's a ECM threshold exceeded. I don't know why, so turn it on. Let it idle for probably 5 minutes or so, just so that way it can relearn its idle. And then we'll just go cruise around a little bit. The stock diverter valve sounds so weird in these things. It's like, it sounds like a weird typhoon. Oddly enough, I don't know if I like I don't think I like the induction noise. I think I prefer the stock airbox setup. So after driving the WRX around a little bit more, I don't think I love the intake. I don't like hearing the diverter valve. It's not like a stock diverter valve where you don't hear it at all. This one, you can hear it like actuating. I'm not a huge fan of that. Some people might like all the whooshy noises. Personally, I don't think it's for me on this car. I will say though, I do enjoy the black core of the intercooler because you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. So I do like that. I also like how much room it frees up in the engine bay, and the intercooler itself fits great. If the airbox fit with the intake, I would say I love that, but a couple like cuts or revisions and you can make that fit no problem. I am gonna swap over to the old airbox setup. There's a little bit of trimming that I need to do to it. I don't like the diverter valve noises, and the whooshes are very like drawn out on this car. I think it's just how the turbo is set up and everything like that, but personally I don't care for it too much. So the stock airbox is going to go back in with the Cobb intake, and that one's going to end up coming back out. But overall, those who are looking for like a solid front mount intercooler setup for these cars, the Perrin one is, I'm like more than happy with it. It fits up great. Clearance is awesome. It frees up a lot of room in the engine bay. And I think it's relatively affordable, like $1,000 to $1,100 for the front mount intercooler and all the piping. So that's a win also. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you liked the video, if this helped maybe sway you, if you're looking at a Perrin intake and maybe answered some of the questions that you might have, go ahead, give the video a like. If you're not already subscribed and you want to be, I'll leave that totally up to you. I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet. But with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.